Hello, welcome to this bodyweight workout. You might notice something a bit different. I've gone for a different living room setup, and that is because I have Freya crawling around because I thought it was about time that I tried to make better use of my time while she's around and try and do a workout with her. So if it all goes horribly wrong, I apologize, and I will have to redo it when she is asleep. But it's great to see how you can get your children involved in whatever you're doing. You will need a resistance band or towel and a block or a big book to stand on, but that is optional, and I'll show you when we get there. We have got three core movements that we are then going to progress through 3 circuits. So we've got a lunge, a deadlift, and a back bend, which will just be lovely and tasty and feel nice. So Freya has currently got my resistance band, so I've also got a towel, so whichever one she's not interested in, I can use. But we're going to start off with a pendulum lunge. I'm just going to take my socks off so I don't slip everywhere, and I'm sure she'll find that very entertaining. A pendulum lunge is exactly what it sounds. It is backwards and forwards. So we're going into forward lunge, backwards lunge, and that's also going to act as our warm up. So ease it in nice and gently, stepping forward, and the same leg is going to go straight back. And then again, just touching down in the middle. That's it. Just to get the balance. Some of these movements are going to be quite wobbly, but wobbles are okay because that means that the body is working. There we are. Go for 2 more front and back on this leg. Touching down. Now I can bring this leg all the way forward again without touching down. See if you can do the same. I have to touch down when I go backwards for some reason, but I can bring it all the way forward. Swap in legs. Again, just easing yourself in to that range of motion. Back knee doesn't have to touch the floor. If it does touch the floor, try not to bash it down. It's a gentle kiss. It's a little kiss on the floor. That's all it needs. Once you're feeling a bit more warm in that leg, get those movements a little bit deeper and a little bit freer. Let's go. 1 more, front and back. Awesome. Right, shake them off. Deadlift. We're going to go for a single leg deadlift. And Freya, decide whether you want the towel or the resistance band, because I want the other one, please. That's it, you have the towel. If you're using a towel, roll it up so it creates some tension. Pull apart on it the whole time, just tighten up the shoulder, holding your band at about shoulder width like this. And again, keep in, pulling out, tighten up that shoulder joint. We're going for single leg. This one reaches down to the floor as that leg goes out the back, and then bring it in. To modify, find a surface or a wall, hand can go on it as that leg tips back and chest tips forward. And what you're looking for is the leg that's on the ground, nice big stretch in the hamstring and the glute. I'm sorry, I don't know why I smacked my own bum then. So between 8 and 10 on each leg, we're going to swap legs in between. So reaching down, leg comes up, feel that stretch, really push this leg out and up. Take your time. If you need to, while you come down, you could just give yourself a little help by just tapping that on the floor and just come to where you feel a stretch. For some people, that might be just here. You stay there. For others, it might be a little bit further, but like I said, if you want to, hand just rests on here to steady yourself, or you could use a wall or a sofa, make sure you do what's right for you. She's got that towel in her mouth. She's like a dog. Oh my God. Reaching down, snapping it back up. The bend and snap, as one of my clients calls this deadlift that starts from the top. So really feeling hamstring and glute in that leg that is staying connected with the ground. If you need to touch down on the floor to get that extension, do. That will also give you a point of contact with the ground, which will manage some wobbles. Two more each side. You could also put your blocks or books there, just so you can rest on something that's a little bit higher. Really point that back leg. She's now sniffing my socks. I think this makes for interesting commentary as we work out. I'll just update you on what Freya's doing out of shot. She's rubbing my sock across her face, which is great. Last one. Lovely, shake them off. Okay, we're down on the mat for the next one. We're going for a Superman, which is a back extension, and we're gonna use W-shaped arms. So W like this. Freya's probably gonna climb on me. So we're face down on our mat, W arms, and then we're gonna lift them off the ground and lift the toes, and then come back down. Here she comes to attack me. Squeezing up, bending through that lower back. She just headbutted me. Yeah, she just headbutted me. Don't steal my ear pod. That is definitely a choking hazard. Really squeezing up. Going for between 6 and 8. Focusing on bending through that lower back. I'm going to do one more so I don't lose my ear pod. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Don't work with dogs and children. And I've done both. Here you go. That is that first round done. She's also making the dog bark. It's all going on today. Grab yourself a drink. I've actually got water today. Go me. Okay, back to that pendulum lunge. And this is how we're up in the challenge. So, of course, you are welcome to stay with the pendulum lunge as it was in the first round. To make it more challenging, we're obviously going to add a variable, which is the basis for all my classes. Variables help us build skills, so they're really cool. We are going to rotate over the knee that will be in front of us. So band or towel out, and we're going to rotate over whichever knee is in front of us. And we're going to do that front and back. So when my right leg steps forward, I'll be rotating over the right leg. And then when my right leg goes back, I'll be rotating over that left leg because that's the one that's in front of me then. So we're rotating one way, then the other, okay? We will stick with the right leg and then go on to the left leg. So between 8 and 10 on that right leg. Obviously, you choose your pace. If you need to take longer over anything, please do. If you're watching on a catch-up, pause at any point, focus on this movement, and then press play and carry on. You can skip all me just chatting rubbish, as always. But here we go. Rotating over right leg, stepping back, rotate over left. There we go. If it's at all possible, try and float that knee just above the ground. These are requiring lots of concentration for me. I'm going to go for one more on this side. Freya is now playing with the yoga blocks. Lovely. Right. Left leg's turn. So, of course, as the left leg comes forward, we're rotating this way. And as it comes back, we're rotating this way, trying to float that knee just above the ground. Keeping that band at shoulder height if possible. And trying to twist that torso all the way around. Let the chest go with it. Let the eyes go with it. You're sort of in my way a little bit, but that's not unusual, is it? Just step a bit further back. You can have it in a second. She's not in a very good mood this morning, are you? Here you go, you have that. I'll do it with a towel. When we do it with a towel, so remember to twist that towel up and pull apart on it the whole time. 2 more on this leg for me. Oh, lovely. I'd shake them off and relax. Back to the single leg deadlift. So instead of taking the towel to the floor and leaving it there, before we come back up, we're going to go with a reach and then snap it back in. Again, if you need to, stick with what we did in the first round, stable yourself where you need to, or have your block ready or your book. So you've got something just to stabilize yourself on at the bottom before you go for that reach. Again, anywhere between 8 and 10 or 6 and 10 on each leg. Really focus on controlling that movement. We'll do them all on the right leg and then we'll go for the left. So down and then reach and then snapping it back up. So we get a nice length across the body from the tips of where we're holding this all the way to that toe that's going up. Down, steady yourself. I needed my block then. Ooh, loss of balance. Reach and snap it back up. Oh, feeling that. And in, lovely. So just because you're wobbly on one doesn't mean that you'll be wobbly on all of them. So keep trying. Take your time to get your balance. Set yourself up for success. 2 more this leg. Do you want to swap? Do you want to swap? There you go. We've swapped. I think you're tired, aren't you? 2 more on this leg. Reach. And in. Real big stretch. Oh, there we go. Other side. Other leg. Again, set yourself up for success, whether it's against an object, the wall, with a block. You could use your child to hold your hand if you've got a bigger child. Set yourself up for success whenever you do any new movements. Lovely. Big reach. Although it looks like I'm about to lose my block that I'm using just to steady myself on. We go for 4 more on this leg. One thing I am not very good at is counting reps as I talk. So I often lose count. I don't know how many I've done. I'll start, that's the balance. I'll start off counting and then I'll say something and then I'll be like, I don't know how many I've done. I don't know how many I've done now. That's not a good place to stand, is it? This is why people don't like working out with their children. One more. Oh, lovely stuff. Really felt that down the hamstring, even into the calf as well. Have a little drink of water. You want this one back? No? That's embarrassing for me, isn't it? Okay, back to those Supermans. We're going to go for W, Y, W. Unfortunately, we can't spell NMM with this movement, which would be pretty cool. So when you lift off in the Y position, whilst you're lifting off, you're then going to go for Y, back to W, and then lower yourself down. Between 6 and 8, if you don't like lying on your tummy, you can, of course, do these standing, which bring the arms up, into Y, into W, stand yourself up, pull those shoulders back. Oh, hey, no, what's the matter? This is not going well, is it? I thought you'd be okay. I was wrong. Play with your toys. I also need you to get off the mat because that's where I need to lay. So anywhere between 6 and 8, I'll see if I can squeeze myself on here. Starting with Y, press up, W into Y, back to W, and down. Really push those shoulder blades down the back. Toes off the ground. Relax it all the way. Make yourself as high as possible. Two more for me. Whew. That feels juicy on the back. Okay, that's the second round. Done. One round to go. Hopefully I can make it through this next round without Freya doing any kind of shouting at me. But as always, if anybody has any questions about any of the exercises that you do in any of the classes that I teach or demonstrate, just send me a message if you need any extra help or a way to modify it even further, or a different variation to do because you don't like something or don't like the way something feels. Just let me know and I will do my best to do something that will help you. I'll give you a video of something else you can do. So we're going for a touchdown in the last lunge round. Now, touchdown is a single leg where obviously you'd want to get your balance if you need to hold on to something. We're going heel down this way and then keeping this leg straight, bringing it out to the side, touching down on the heel again, bring the leg around the back, and you're just going to touch down on the top of the toes so that they're not supporting any of your weight, they're just touching the ground. Of course, to modify, you can stand on a block to make it more challenging because obviously you've got further to go to touch down. Block or book or little step, and you're touching down, heel, then leg out to the side, touching on the just outside of the toes, and then behind you, just on the top of the toes, and it's all coming through bending of the leg that's on the block. So pick whether you're going to do it on the floor or on something higher. You can always try starting on the floor and then go to something higher. It's completely up to you. These are quite challenging. I'm only going to do 6 on each leg, and obviously what the 3 positions count as 1 rep. So I'm also going to make sure I'm set up nice and close to this. So in case I wobble, I've got something to just steady myself on. In fact, I need to be even closer to it. These are really challenging. Again, this is building up this skill for things like pistol squats and other single leg variations. So I hope you enjoy. Get your balance. My blocks are actually not great for this because my foot doesn't sit fully on it. Out to the side. Just need to get my balance. Don't know what this hand is doing. Out back, bending through this knee to get those touchdowns. There we go. Out to the side. This is the one I need to get the balance on. Bending through this leg until you feel that foot touch down. I really feel this in my ankle and in my calf, which is trying really hard just to stabilize everything. Wow. Again, touching down if you just need to get your balance for a second. Lovely. I'm going to do 2 more. Touching down, out to the side. Trying not to put any weight in this foot at all. It's light as a feather as it taps the ground. I say these are challenging enough, just doing them from floor height. Oh, I feel that deep in my glute. Whew. And this side. You will find as well that one leg is perhaps more skilled than the other. For me, that's my right leg. My right leg is way better at controlling this than my left is. See, just it's happier to balance, it's happier to bend, doesn't feel as crampy. But it's really important for my own skill development that I build my left leg up so it feels as comfortable on my left leg as it does on my right leg. So you're going to go for one more. See, I don't even need to hold on with this side. It's really, the difference is quite drastic. There we go. Touchdown's done. As the classes go on, we're going to be building up more single leg stuff. All the classes are progressive, so I look what we've done in the previous weeks and then we replicate stuff because that's another way that we get better at things, by repetition, changing variables and just trying to make movement a little bit more interesting when you're doing it in your own home. So now back to that single leg deadlift. Again, feel free to stick with the previous version if this one is not for you. But once we're in that reach, we're going to rotate under towards the leg that is on the ground. So if my right leg is down and I go for that reach, I'm going to try and just twist that way. So left hand is going to come towards right leg. I'm only going to go for 6 on each side because these are going to be incredibly wobbly. Oh dear. Oh dear. Just have a little choke on something. Just a dummy, I think. So same as before, going for that reach and then just seeing if we can tip very quickly once you've got your balance. Oh dear. Reaching down, going for that reach and just tipping that hand under. It should bring about a different feeling in the hip. See if you can feel for it. See, 3 more. Trying to keep track of my reps. Now, the good thing is that in a few years, when Freya learns to count, maybe she can be my rep counter for me so that I don't lose count. One more on this side and then swapping legs. Can I have that foot? Thank you. Yeah, right leg is done. On to left leg supporting. And you'll probably notice the same in this as well. One leg's probably happier to do the bit that's supporting you. So when you've got your balance, tip and then bring it in one swift movement, taking all this bit nice and slow, getting your balance, going for that reach, tip and bringing it in. Three more. Got it, Freya? Three more. If you could count to sort of, anywhere between 3 and 10, that would be really useful for me right now. Left leg is not happy to keep the balance on that tip there, but don't worry about that if that's the same for you. All part of the process. Get my balance before I go for that reach. All part of the process, all part of learning new skills. I'm not amazing at everything. There's still things that I want to get better at. I've got this class is a platform for me to use to work in the things that I'm interested in doing. Okay, and we're going to finish with a reverse tabletop, which is a back bend. I'm just going to angle the camera down. I know that I haven't before now. I mean, to be fair, you can see everything. It's quite a good view, isn't it? To be fair. That should be... You're right in the middle of my mat, aren't you? Hey, this is the last one. So sit yourself down and I'll show you on this hand first because you can see this one better. This hand we want quite close to us and we want that wrist to be in line with the elbow and the shoulder, just because it's going to give us the most support. This hand is going to reach up and over, but the movement starts like this. You lift your hips up and you're almost in like a reverse. It's a wheel pose in yoga, where you're on your hands behind your head, and it's working up to that. So what this hand is going to do, where's your dummy? Because you're being very frustrating, aren't you? There you go. Don't get angry at the pig. It hasn't done anything. This hand is going to shoot up and over and is going to reach down the back of your head, in between your shoulders. If you don't want to go for the reach, you can just stick with this. Pushing the hips up as high as possible on one arm. We're going to do 6 on one arm and 6 on the other arm. Anywhere between 4 and 6. They are quite difficult. Something that I find really challenging. Get your coins out. Okay, here we go. Readjust the feet and hands so that you get a position that feels comfortable. So this arm is going up and over as I'm pushing through the floor. I'm going to try and follow my hand with my eyes and I'm bringing it back in. Okay, nice deep breath. Exhale as you push up. Really trying to bend through that lower back. And I'm just going to do 4 more on the other side because Freya is getting bit tired. So she's going to throw a wobbly at any point now. Reaching up. Again, you might find that one side naturally can reach further than the other, which is again totally normal. I do not trust these AirPods to stay in ever. Lovely, right. We're all done. I am a little bit sweaty. This house is very warm. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, any questions, if you need any help with anything, let me know. And I will see you on Friday for some dumbbell stuff. Say bye, Freya. Say bye. Look at her now, just all happy. God, honestly, I know that people with kids will understand, but my word. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys.